will be all smiles at the polling units at this time because voting has started. So that's where you expect people to. It's CAVs, vote accreditation, that manner. So, but now in Abeokuta, where our correspondent Diary is, we're hoping that all is also going on well there at the moment. So we're going to go to our correspondent Diary, who is going to go ahead and tell us what is happening, where he is at the moment. Diary. Diary, what's going on where you are at the moment?
Yeah, good morning. We are reaching you live here in St. Peter's Primary School, Ake Abeokuta. Voting has started as promised by INEC, at least at this polling unit, that voting will start by 8 a.m. And of course, you can see behind me people voting. This is what INEC calls a super rack. At this particular polling unit, this is more like a distribution point. Materials, personnel were moved at this particular polling unit to other polling units around. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the cameras, observers, security men, and people voting orderly on the line, waiting in turn for them to cast their vote. We spoke earlier. We spoke with the presiding officer earlier. We would still talk to her at some point. She told us about the process, how they set up in the morning, and the number of people they're expecting here. They said during the presidential election, out of the over 900 registered voters around here, they only had 180 people come around. But here this morning, you can see it may not really be busy, but it's quite orderly and people are casting their vote. At this particular polling unit as well, we can tell you that someone who was the first to cast his vote is here with us and is going to be talking to us this morning. He's going to basically tell us how the experience was casting his vote. Good morning. You were the very well, and you?
Yeah, I'm cool.
You're the first person to cast your vote around here. Can you please tell us how it was doing this?
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I came in around 6:30 a.m. and immediately I came, the presiding officers and the APO, they were already on ground, only waiting for 8 o'clock for the procedure to commence. So it was a great experience, and it was orderly and it was well arranged.
I know it may be too early to adjudge or to basically talk about the entire process now, but how would you rate the comportment or even the conduct of personnel around you? I'm talking about security men and all the key players around.
Yeah, the security are fantastic. They are on ground and they were doing their work. In fact, when I came in, there was one of the security that was moving around to check whether there's any, nuisance around. And the observers are here. We have the agents are also here, and the voters are also here. So the presiding officers and the APOs, they are all on ground, and they were so organized, and they were very, 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 very understanding. And I think that there was even an incident that when I came in, they were not ready to give them a table and chair for them to be able to organize it. And we had to speak with the host here, and they allow us to have access to the tables and chair for the voting to commence properly.
But how long did it take you to basically cast your vote from beginning to end?
No, this is fantastic. It doesn't take me up to 5 minutes. I spend within 3 to 4 minutes before casting my vote.
So, but INEC guideline says that you can actually even wait behind to monitor the process and wait till the votes are counted. Are you waiting behind to ensure that, of course, your vote counts?
Yes, of course. I'm going to hang around to ensure that at the end of the voting by 2 o'clock, I am part of the counting procedure, because the security are fully here and guaranteed.
Thank you very much for talking to us this morning. You heard it from a voter here in Abeokuta, where the process has started. We have our men across the state, and they're covering this election. But what we can tell you at this particular polling unit at St. Peter's Primary School here in Ake Abeokuta is that the voting has started, and aside that, everything is going according to plan. And as well, let's talk to an observer who's been going around as well, who is going to give us a picture of what he's seen so far. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
So please tell us your name first and what have you observed?
Comrade Inka Folari, the National Secretary Committee for Defense of Human Rights and the head of CDHR Observation Mission. Yeah, so far so good. I think the setup is a bit encouraging away from what we had the last time. And we could see early opening of the ballot, the polling stations, and the enthusiasm in the people. You can see I am quite impressed, and I have no doubt that the turnout will be encouraging. And in some of the polling stations, they have already started voting. And that is one of it we are seeing here. So the situation is still very, very encouraging. We just hope that we won't have issues arising in the course of the process, like the issues of manufacturing of card reader, among others. But so far, so good. Our observation so far, because we've moved around at least Abeokuta South and North this morning, and we can still see that the situation is still encouraging.
So you said you've moved around. What can you say about security in this particular town or those places you've gone to?
Well, I think the state is quite fortified with enough security, which of no doubt will assist the process so much. We can see all over they are there, and we also hope that we won't have a breach of process.
Okay, talking about breach of process, you know, sometimes when there's this heavy deployment like you're seeing in Ogun State, some people could read that as voter intimidation or some sort. But do you nurse this fear as well?
Well, like I said, that security is one of the elements we have to find in the conduct of credible election. So we are seeing them. Of the truth, we could feel it will cause voter apathy, it could lead to intimidation, harassment, and the likes. But away from what we used to have in the past, and evidential in the last election we had, where we even had security, we had military men, but who strictly adhered to the rules of the game by staying at least 300 meters away from the polling stations. So if we are going to have a repetition of such, I see it's not intruding or invading into the credibility of the process. But for now, the situation is still very, very calm. And should there be any development, have no doubt we are under no obligation to be economical with the truth. We'll report as it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you for talking to us. For now, the situation is still very, very calm. That's from an observer. And of course, you heard from a voter as well. The situation is very calm. We're monitoring the situation here. It is way, way too early to basically tell you what is going on in every part of the state. But we have men all across the state. And that is it for now from Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Back to you, Lagos.
Well, yes, indeed. Thank you, Dari Idowu, reporting live from Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, about the elections. A good thing when you heard the first person who voted, I thought he was going to say, I voted for. I was going to leap from my seat. I said, hey, what do you mean? But good to know all is going well there at the moment.
Yeah, it's comforting to know that, I mean, even from the angle of from the perspective of the observer, said the cautious use of the word deployment of security on the one hand is the fear of intimidation, on the other hand is the comfort, the necessity, the necessity and the comfort of safety. So which one the people are feeling at this time is really subjective to the individual who's feeling it.
You know that one of our guest, GT Ogunye, yesterday said that it seems to suggest that whenever it's time for elections, it's like we're signing the death warrant. And one thing that we want to take away from this one is that in Ogun State, it is going well. No source for concern as it stands now. And hopefully we'll get to that point where at the end of the day, there won't be any rancor and the process will come very, very nicely. But we have some videos also that are coming through from Edo State, for instance. We understand that the process is already on, and there you can see it, and that's one of the INEC ad hoc staff from Edo State also getting ready, and it seems to suggest to anyone watching that the INEC officials are already seated, and the process is already on, the card reader in full effect. This is Ekiti State.
Accreditation and voting began at 8. This is Unit 11, Ward 10, Okesa in Ado, the Ekiti State capital. Apparently, things are going well.
Okay, so there's also Nasarawa, guys. Don't forget that election materials, we understand, arrived the Kofa Pada polling unit of Siroma Ward in Lafia. Electoral officers on ground as well, but very few voters, not more than 10, are out as at 8 a.m. But we expect that to pick up.
What's the correct name?
Kofa Pada.
I was waiting for it, but that's Chiroma, right? Chiroma.
Okay, from Dari, I guess he's not the only one. We have our correspondents spread across the country, as far as the north, the south, the west, the east, everywhere. I will be bringing you updates as quickly as we get them. Let's cross over now to far Sokoto State, where Kayla Megwa is standing by to take us through. Kayla, what do you have for us this morning? Has voting started where you are? We'll get to Kayla when we have those images ready. But Sokoto State is an interesting state too, because Tambuwal, he was
going for his second term.
He was speaker before he got into the race, and then was elected as governor. He's going for a second term now. Sokoto State. Remember when we had those attacks also in Sokoto State, and he said that those are marauders that were committing mayhem
from Zamfara.
Yes, from Zamfara,
neighboring state.
So there you have it. I think it will be largely peaceful in Sokoto State. But who becomes the governor if he has a stronger challenger and the people are, rallying round for that opposition, then perhaps he will be counting his days out. But if not, he's going to be staying put in office there.
Good. Today is the People's Day, so they need to really get out there and vote as much as they can.
King.
Oh yeah,
yes, exactly what I was going to
say. Not that I can use it sitting down here. I don't know what am I looking for.
You've voted with the military in the morning, so we still haven't talked about that.
That's not the way I vote.
Oh, really?
That's not my version of voting. That's not how voting should be. That's being held against my will.
No, I had the experience too. I had the experience the previous elections on the 23rd. And it's also important for the security guys out there, the army who are at the periphery, to understand that this is an election. It's not, we're not at war.
Yeah, people show their PVCs.
Yes, according to INEC says those that are on essential duties should pass through any blockade set by security apparatus to check the excesses of people moving, because there is a restriction, and that is to be underscored very importantly too.
Is Kayla back?
Oh, we're hoping that Kayla.
Okay,
Kayla is ready.
Kayla is ready. Let's get to Kayla now in Sokoto, where she is. We're just talking about what's happening in Sokoto, far up north there. But what do you have? Has voting started in Sokoto where you are, Kayla?
To every hot morning here in Sokoto, and of course, you can see behind me, we're here at 6:30 a.m. We're actually here before 6:30, which means that they actually showed up here at about 6 or earlier than 6 a.m. To cast their votes. As you can see right behind me, I actually made a few friends with some of them, so maybe if you can just follow me so I can talk to a few of them. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You're welcome.
What time did you come out to vote this morning?
Since early morning.
Why did you come out so early? You knew that they were going to bring out the materials by 8 a.m.
No, I need to be the first voter for here in this polling unit. That's right. That's what brought me early morning here.
Okay. We'll talk to someone else. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What time did you come out to vote this morning?
Since 7 o'clock.
Why so early? Why?
So that we can do the election in time and just have less stress. But despite all that, we are still here. The voting have not even started. So that's why we are being disappointed.
There's a very interesting dynamic here in Sokoto State. You know, a lot of the people have been here very early. It's this mood basically. There's actually a whole queue way inside that is designated for women. And the women have been on those queues since about 6 a.m. We even have a retired soldier who has been here also very early to talk to us this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
What time did you come out to vote today?
Voting for governor.
What time did you come out?
Out 7:30. 7:30. I'm coming here. That is the 7:30. Continue. I'm coming to vote.
How many elections have you voted in so far?
In fact, it's about 6 or 7.
Wow.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
So it's not a new phenomenon. It's not like they're just trying out the process. No, this is the spirit in Sokoto. In fact, this particular polling unit in Magajin Rafi is one of the oldest polling units. They say every election someone always comes out. This is always a polling unit, for every election. And the crowd here, they are waiting. Accreditation has not started, even though the INEC officials are here at this very moment. And they are looking forward to this particular election. We spoke with the resident electoral commissioner yesterday, and he said it's going to be a pretty peaceful process, despite how dramatic the politics in Sokoto has. Camping and a lot of the politicians here very passionate. We're going to go to the palace later to see, because there's a polling unit just near the palace, so we're going to see how that is going out. But at least in Magajin,
Okay, Kayla, those are very freezy visuals that we're getting towards the end there. She's very far away from where Lagos is. She's in Sokoto, so one can understand that. But thank you, Kayla, for talking to us. We'll keep the base with you, just so that maybe much later in the day you have clearer visuals where you will be at the palace. We understand where there is also a polling unit.